One of the little tricks that I use on new blades to keep them from slipping, I have a little piece of 120 grit sandpaper or 220. I'll hold the blade, hold the paper, and just sand the very ends of them. 3 or 4 licks with it, that's more than enough. That keeps your blade from slipping from the oil that's on them when you get them. Now, as I get older, my eyes are worse, so I have to feel and find out which way the teeth is so I know which is the top, which is the bottom. Well, tonight what we're going to do is finish cutting out the color-filled cross that I started last night. Once I get it out, we're going to take a heat gun and heat up the tape and the pattern, peel all that off. Then we'll flip it over, put the piece back in the wood, use some tape, just tape it in real good so it doesn't slip. Flip it back over and start running it through the planer. Just shave it, barely shave it as I go through. But you need the tape on the back to hold it, because if it gets up even just a little bit, it will explode in that planer, and I've gotten cut pretty good from that. So I'm going to try not to do it. Well, let's get started. When you're cutting on these leaves on the vine, you got a lot of freedom. You can relax. If you get offline a little bit, it doesn't matter. Even sometimes I've had the wood that here at tip, the grain has run against me and the tips broke off, and you can just back up and cut a new tip. Nobody ever know. Like I said, you can relax with this part. I swing out wide when I'm cutting around these sharp points. That way it gives me a nice wide open entry point so I can make a clean entry cut. Now I can cut this a lot faster, but it's just not as sharp, it's not as clean, it just doesn't look as good to me. Now we're about to get out of the leaves back to the sharper edges of the pattern. So now it's time to slow down, be a lot more careful. One of the harder things for me to cut is when it's almost a perfect circle. I really slow down, try to stay right dead center of the line. That, and I guess long straight lines. That's the two toughest parts with a scroll saw. Okay, now I can breathe again. Whenever I'm cutting a circle, I find myself just practically holding my breath until I get done. Then I'm like, all right, I made it. I didn't screw that up.